Here's a number that should bother every firm owner. Most people who reach out to a law firm contact more than one. And the firm that responds first is very often the one that gets hired. Not the best firm, the fastest one. Through our research and speaking with law firm owners, we know that most potential clients, when they have the time, will take that opportunity to reach out to multiple law firms that they feel can serve their needs. Now think about when clients actually reach out. The ones that are able to pay would usually be working during your business hours, so they reach out when they can, during the evenings or the weekends, or right after a car accident, or right after they got a scary letter from immigration. But the dilemma is, those are exactly the hours that your office is closed and nobody is there to answer the phone. So the message sits. A website form, a WhatsApp message, an Instagram DM, or a text sitting unanswered until Monday. And by Monday, that person has already spoken to someone else who may have already given them the answer that they needed. And they're already thinking about hiring that law firm. For those who don't know me, my name is Javier and I'm the CTO for Practice Flow Strategies, where we help law firm owners and their team reclaim valuable time. Today, I'm going to show you a potential solution to that problem. A single AI assistant that watches every channel your firm uses. Your website, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, text messages, all at once. The moment someone reaches out, it answers in seconds, has a real conversation, and adds them to your CRM as a new lead. And if they're ready, it books them straight into your calendar for consultation, and all on its own. Now, we all know that we want that human touch at a law firm. Well, with this, there's no way to tell that it's not a real person. And the second it detects that that potential client needs that extra human touch, it steps back and sends a notification to whoever needs to step in. And of course, you have the discretion to decide whether you wait until Monday or answer to that potential client right away. If Practice Flow were building it for you, it would run on tools your firm would own and fully control, so your clients' private messages never sit on another company's cloud. Let's take a look. So this is Chatwoot. Think of it as one inbox that catches everything. Instead, someone on your team checking the website chat in one place, WhatsApp on a phone, Instagram in another app, and text messages somewhere else, every single conversation lands right here on one screen. Now, here's what matters for a law firm. This can run on your own server. Now, every conversation your clients have, and these are often sensitive, privileged conversations, stay on infrastructure that you control. It never gets handed off to some outside company's system. Right now, if a message comes in after hours, it waits for a human. What we're going to do is give this inbox a tireless assistant that picks up instantly, no matter the hour or the channel. So Chatwoot has a built-in feature for exactly this, right? It lets you connect an outside assistant to an inbox. So every time a new conversation comes in, they get marked as pending, which is just Chatwoot's way of saying, hey, the assistant has this one for now. But the moment the member of your team wants to step in and take over, then the assistant goes quiet, so you're never logged out of your own conversation. All right, so what we need to do first is create a new bot. So for that, you will go here and click on the Add Bot button. You will give a name, let's say the bot, for example. You will add a description, all right? And then finally, it asks for a webhook URL. So basically, this is the breach, all right? It is asking, where should I send this message so that the assistant can start thinking about it? Now, let's give it that address. So let's open N8N. So this is a tool that we'll use to build our assistant's brain, all right? It will read each message, decides what to do next, and it's gonna take action. So the first piece is gonna be a webhook action right here, okay? So basically, all this is doing is listening for new messages, all right? It is sitting here waiting to be handed a new message from Chatboot. So this is gonna give you an URL. If you click here on production URL, all you need to do is copy this address right here. Now, we go back to Chatwoot and we paste that into the webhook URL field, okay? And then we create the bot. So that's basically the connection made. Now, every conversation that goes into an inbox where this agent is assigned to will get automatically handed over to our assistant. So now, don't forget to copy this access token, as we're gonna need it later in the workflow, right? Just copy right here and save it somewhere else. All right, now there you have it. The connection is done, okay? Now, don't forget to assign your bot to the inbox where you want it to work on, all right? In this case, let's go to inboxes right here, And as you can see, I've already added these inboxes such as Instagram, Messenger, SMS. I also have a website widget, right, on our website that handles the chat right there. And I also have the WhatsApp right here, all right? So we go to the settings, in this case of the WhatsApp inbox. Let's go to bot configuration, and then you can select the agent bot right from here, right? In this case, let's click on the drop down and let's select the demo bot that we just created, and let's hit update right here. Okay, so now basically every new conversation that goes into the WhatsApp inbox right here, in this case, all right, it's gonna get handed to our assistant as we mentioned. Okay, now one small detail, if we go back to our N8N automation right here, obviously this is gonna allow us to be aware of every new conversation that's coming in, all right? Even those messages sent by the agent, by the assistant, all right? So of course, we don't want our assistants to be replying to themselves in an endless loop, right? We only want our assistant and our workflow to run only when the lead is sending a message back to us, all right? We don't want to reply to our own messages. So for that reason, we're gonna add an if chat right here. And basically what this is gonna do is check on, we only wanna reply and run this workflow when a new message is created, all right? Only when that happens. And also always when the sender and the status of that bot for that conversation is off, right? As you know, the bot can be turned on and off for a single conversation, all right? So this is what is gonna allow your human agents to also take over the conversation. They can turn the bot off and they can take over that conversation seamlessly, all right? As you will also see in the workflow later in the video, the bot can also turn itself off once it knows that a lead needs human attention, all right? And then finally, and what's more important right here, it's the sender type checking that we do. So the sender type needs to be equal to contact. So it is just a way of Chatbots to define what a lead or a client is, all right? So it's different from our own agent or our own profile. So it is only gonna run when a message is created, all right? When the status of the bot is not off, meaning that is on, of course, and only when the sender that is sending this message is a contact in Chatbot. So that is gonna prevent that the assistant replies to itself. All right, so now before we move on, I wanna show you exactly how you can get these values here so that you can evaluate these criteria yourself whenever you're testing this on your own. So first, what you have to do is you have to send a test message to any of your Chatbot inboxes. And once Chatbot gets those messages and send them right here to your assistant, you will get this information as you can see here on the left, right? In this case, this is test information, but when you do send a message, you're gonna see this right here, just like I'm seeing on my end. Now, as you can see right here, all of the values that we're evaluating say JSON, all right? They all begin with JSON. So basically JSON is the format where we're getting this information right here. So all of this information comes in a JSON format. So basically in the first criteria that we're evaluating right here, we're gonna look for the body and the event, right? So basically all you need to do is just scroll down, and once you get to the body, all right, as you can see right here, now you're gonna look for the event inside this body object, right? So all you need to do is scroll all the way down, okay? And you'll get the event right here, okay? So let me show you right here. Let me delete this from here. And then all you need to do is grab and drop it right here, okay? And you're gonna do the same for the second and for the third criteria right here. You're gonna look for those values here on this information that you get from that webhook, and then you're gonna evaluate it against this criteria. Okay, now all you need to do in order to start working in this workflow is this attribute that we're evaluating right here, which is the bot status. We're evaluating it so that it's not equal to off, so that we're only using this workflow to reply to conversations where the bot is actually active. Okay, so in order to set that, let's go back to Chatwoot. Okay, now let's go to here under settings. Let's go to custom attributes, all right? And then you can see here, you're gonna be in conversation, you have to change it to contact, all right? And then all you need to do is add a custom attribute here. Click on this button right here, all right? In my case, I already have created one, so let me show it to you, all right? I called it bot status as their display name. And then the key is gonna be automatically generated once you write the display name. Okay, and then you can give it a description, right? So that either you or your team members know exactly what this custom attribute is for. And finally, the type. So the type of this custom attribute, in my case, is going to be a list because it's going to have more than one value. All right, it's going to have the values of on and off. In this case, it is uppercase, so take note of that. Okay, and also take note of what the key of that custom attribute is. All right, once you have set these values, just click and create. All right, and then you'll have your custom attributes. Okay, and then finally, back to our workflow. When you're on this F check that we have right here, as you can see here, we're looking for the conversation inside the messages of that conversation. All right, inside the sender attributes, we're gonna see the custom attribute that we created, and we're looking for the bot status attribute right here. All right, so this is gonna change if you name your attribute differently. Make sure that you also update that value right here. And in my case, I'm also evaluating it against the off value. As you can see here, it's uppercase. All right, so make sure that you're evaluating here the value that you set. If you set a different value, make sure that you're also setting that value right here, just like you wrote it. All right, now we're ready to proceed with the full explanation of this workflow. Okay, so now that we've made our connection between Chatwoot and our workflow, and we have checked that we're not replying to ourselves to avoid an endless loop, let's see exactly how this workflow works entirely. Okay, so after we got that message and we've verified that it is the client that is sending us a message to us and not our own agent, we're gonna get the data from that message, such as the conversation ID, what type of message it is, the name of that sender, their phone number, their email if available, and then we're gonna route the specific message through the appropriate branch depending on that message type. Right, so if it is an audio or an image, we're gonna download that media, okay, and then we're gonna use AI to determine exactly what the recording said and analyze that, and also what the image showed, and analyze that to send it back to our AI agent. All right, so we can generate that response. Similarly, if it's just a text message, we're gonna capture that message and then we're gonna move on. Right now, since we want to make this agent as human-like as possible, before replying with our AI agent, what we're going to do is we're going to create a queue of messages. All right, so like a human would do, your clients, when they're typing their messages, they normally won't send all of their questions in one single message, right? They're gonna type different messages one after the other. So basically what we're doing right here is we're gonna wait 30 seconds between each message, all right, so that we can create that list of messages. We're going to create that queue of messages, and we're going to give 30 seconds to our leads so that they can send us their messages as they are typing it. All right, if you were to reply 2 seconds right after they send a message, that would work well for a chatbot, but remember, we want to make this as human as possible. All right, so we're going to give time to our leads so that they can finish typing their full questions in different messages before we reply back to them, right? So if more than 30 seconds have passed since the last message that they sent, what we're going to do is we're gonna create a long message composed by all of these parts and different messages that they have sent. Okay, based on our queue of messages that we already have, we're gonna create one long message that we're gonna use to feed our AI agent with, right? So we're gonna set it right here in this variable action that we have. Okay, and so now here's the core part of this workflow. Okay, so basically once we have all of those messages in our queue, we're gonna feed that into our AI agent, right? As you can see right here, and this is important, we have two guardrails, right? We have the input guardrails and we have the output guardrails. This is important so that the AI agent never sees personal information for our clients, and also so that we prevent that someone tries to make our agent behave in an unsafe way, right? And also with the output guardrails, we're gonna make sure that we're not sending back to our clients messages that uses language that is not safe for work, or that for any reason we're disclosing secrets of your company back to your users. That's why we have this input guardrails right here. Okay, and that's what differentiates, right, a production and an enterprise grade automation, okay, from a simple automation that might not be that secure. Okay, then finally you can also see here that we have our brain of the model. In our case, we're using OpenAI, but you could use any model like an Anthropic or Claude model from that company, or you can also use Gemini for free, or any other API that you have from any other AI provider. Okay, we also have a memory so that we always have a fresh context of what's the conversation that we're currently handling. Remember, this AI agent can handle multiple conversations at once, and this is how it won't mix any of the messages from one conversation with the other. All right. And also we have a range of tools that we have available for our agent. All right. One of them is a vector store. So basically this is a way so that you can feed documentation of your own company, of your own firm into your AI agent, so that it has grounded information to base its responses off of. All right. It's not going to hallucinate. It's not going to make up their responses back to your clients. It's also going to take documentation that you yourself or your team wrote, so that it always has 100% accurate information to reply with to your clients. All right. And finally, we have also other tools that are broken down like sub workflows. Okay. And it also has the ability to take action. All right. So let me show you just a few. All right. We have sub workflows like create a lead record, for example. We have one to check its availability, the availability on your calendar, for instance. And also we have one that's also going to help you to book that event. All right. So if we take a look at the create lead record right here, basically the chatbot is instructed to gather the client's details. And when it has the details that you need, all right, it will reach out to the CRM that you're using. In this case, I'm using Airtable, and it's going to create that lead record. Okay. I'm also using Resend right here so that I can add this person using their email to my newsletter list. Right. If you don't know what Resend is, I recently created a video showing how Resend work. I'm going to leave it right here so you can watch and see it anytime that you want. All right. Now back to our workflow, we also have, as I told you, another sub workflow as a tool that is book an event. All right. So basically the agent has instructions as well to check the availability on your own calendar. And once it's find availability based on the time that the lead is proposing, it's going to create that event for you. It's going to send the confirmation back to that lead, and it's going to update your records in your CRM. All right. It's going to do everything on its own. So you don't have to manually update records on multiple platforms every time a certain event happens. Okay. So as you can see right here, we're breaking down these actions into small sub workflows, and we're not trying to create a huge workflow right here in terms of these actions. All right. So the part that actually makes all of this possible and makes it happen together is going to be actually the prompt of the AI agent, right? So if we go into our AI agent right here, first the user message is going to be the long message that we got from our queue. All right. If it passes the input guardrails, we're going to feed that into our AI agent so that it knows that this is the message that the client is sending to us. All right. And then finally, we have the system message. All right. So let me open this up so you can see it entirely. And basically, this is how we tell our AI agent how it has to behave. We give it information such as what company it is working for, what's the tone that it should have, okay? What are the rules that it should not break under any circumstance, okay? And then also we have different scenarios that it could come across and how it should behave on each of those scenarios, right? And we also have the tools that it has available. All right. So depending on each scenario, you can use these tools, and this is the tool that you have available, and this is what you need to use this tool for. All right. You can also give it the order of actions in which it has to call each specific tool. You can provide everything right here. So the more detailed the prompt is, the better, but also you do not want to have a huge prompt. All right. So basically, the longer the prompt is, there's a point where actually more than making the agent work better, it's going to actually hurt how your agent works. All right. So this is exactly why we're providing these tools that we just saw as a small sub workflows that it only knows that it has to call that sub workflow in a certain scenario, but it doesn't know which tools are available inside that workflow because it is a separate workflow and it doesn't need to know what's in that workflow. All it needs to know is when to call that tool and what information it needs to pass when calling that tool. That's it. All right. So basically that's exactly what we're doing right here. And just finally, we're also providing this variable right here so that it knows exactly what date and time it is, exactly each time it runs. All right. This also helps it a lot when scheduling or updating on deleting appointments. All right. So as you saw, I'm not going to go into all of the details here of this prompt, but I'm going to show it right here for you so you can pause the video and you can take a look here at your own pace and you can modify it as you need it. All right, so let's go back here. And basically, this is the AI agent. This is the core brain of this workflow in this case. And I'm just gonna walk you through the other tools that we have. We also have get client details. All right, so before we add a client to our CRM, we first need to know if it already exists, or if the client is reaching out to us to either update an appointment or delete an appointment. We're gonna first get the details of that lead, and then we're gonna find the appointment that is linked to this lead, and then we're gonna proceed with updating or deleting that appointment as appropriate. Okay, so before we move right into the last part of our AI agent workflow, let me show you exactly how the input and output guardrails look like from the inside, right? So if we click in the input guardrails, you can see that we're checking the text for violations, all right? So these violations are gonna be things like a jailbreak. So this is basically if someone were to try to, let's say, hack into our AI agent or make it behave in a way that's not safe, okay? We're gonna have security against that, okay? And also, we're gonna protect our AI agent from reading personal data from our leads. So, if for some reason someone were to send their credit card information, their driver's license, or their social security number, okay, we're gonna prevent our AI agent from reading this information, and we're not gonna feed that into our AI agent at all, okay? So if we go back here, we're gonna see that if it fails this input, or for that matter, the output guardrails, another sub workflow is gonna be triggered, okay? And that's gonna be go back here, the send human notification sub workflow. So basically, this is a sub workflow that all it does is, in this case, when these guardrails fail, okay, we've detected an not safe text either from our leads or generated by the AI agent. Basically, what we're doing is, in this case, we're sending an email, right, to our team members. And basically what we're including right here is information about the conversation, okay? We're including information like their message, what the message content is, what failed, okay? What their conversation ID was. We're including the customer name, and also the channel, all right? And finally, we're letting our team know that, please take care of this conversation ASAP, and that the bot has been turned off for this conversation, okay? And basically this is done in a way that, as you can see here, before I walk you through this chatbot node right here, sometimes when you send an email, in this case, sometimes it can show up as read in the inbox. So we just want to mark that message as unread so that our team members can actually see it once we send it. And then finally, we're turning the bot off for this conversation right here, right? So basically, this is just an HTTP call using Chatbot's API. And basically, we're providing a new status for that conversation where the bot status, all right, the custom attribute that we created, now it's gonna be off for this specific conversation whenever this happens, all right? And the output guardrails work similarly. In this case, we're also just checking for not safe for work content, all right, generated by the AI agent. So we're making sure that we're not generating any inappropriate text back to our clients or your leads, okay? And basically, we're also making sure that we're not leaking any kind of key or secret back to our leads, okay? In case you have some sort of secret or information inside the agent prompt, for example, which you shouldn't, but just in case, all right, we're also making sure that we're not providing that back to our clients or leads in the message of the AI agent, right? So we're also checking for that right here. All right, so now moving on to our last part of this workflow. After we've generated that response from our AI agent, again, since we want to make this as human as possible, what we're going to do is, that sometimes AI generates M dashes whenever generating a response. So first, we're gonna strip out those M dashes. We're gonna use this little code node right here, which is gonna take the output of the AI agent and is gonna replace any M dash that answer may have, right? And then basically, again, a human would not type a long message, right? Normally we wouldn't do that. So of course we would also reply in maybe 3 or 4 messages, depending on how long our answer is going to be. So we're also gonna do that with our AI agent right here, okay? So after we have replaced all of those M dashes, if any, on the output response from the AI agent, we're gonna split that long message from the AI agent into different parts, okay, whenever it makes sense, okay? So for that, we're using a structure like this, where we're gonna get the response and we're gonna break down that response into different parts, depending on how long the answer may be. All right, if it's shorter, we will not create 5 parts, of course, maybe 1 or 2. But if it's a long message that the AI is generating, then we're gonna also generate up to 5 parts. And it also is gonna make sense, all right? And this is also handled by AI, as you can see right here. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create different messages so that we're gonna send them one by one back to our leads right here. So after we have generated all of those parts, basically we're gonna create an order list, all right? So we have our parts already generated by this nodes actions that we have right here, and then we're gonna create an organized list with all of those parts. Once we have that list, what we're going to do is we're gonna iterate over each one of them, and we're gonna send them one by one. Okay, again, just to provide that extra human touch, just like a human would do, depending on how long the message that we're sending is, we're gonna generate a custom delay for that. All right, so I'm gonna leave this right here so you can see it. All right, you can pause the video, and this is basically gonna return a typing delay. All right, so that number, we're gonna use it back into our next node, which is gonna be the delay action. It's gonna be a dynamic delay. So depending on how long the message that we're currently sending is, depending on how long that part is, the delay between sending that message and the other is gonna be longer or shorter, just like a human would, right? Depending on how long the message is, they're gonna take longer or shorter to type that message on their phone or typing it on their computer, wherever they're using it, right? And finally, we're gonna proceed and we're gonna send that message back to Chatbot, right? As you can see right here, we're gonna send this, and this is how it would look like, all right? We're gonna set the message type, it's gonna be outgoing, and the content is gonna be exactly that specific part that we're currently iterating over and sending it back to our clients, all right? Now, finally, after we send those messages back to our leads, we need to actually verify whether that lead in the messages that they sent, if they're asking for human intervention, all right? Remember that the output guardrails and the input guardrails that we have is only checking for text violations, either from the input of the client or from the output of the AI agent. But what happens when the lead or your client is actually requesting for a human attention? What's the process when the leads are asking for a human supervisor? Or what if they do decide they want to speak to a human? If they feel the chatbot is not human enough, then we also have a fallback for that. So in this case, we have the text to classify right here. So basically what we're doing here is we're just getting the long message that we made after that queue of messages that we saw earlier. We're gonna get that message here back from that action, okay? And then we're gonna use this node right here using a small AI agent just to verify, okay? So basically we're gonna take that message and we're gonna ask the AI to define whether, based on that message, this person is requesting for human intervention or not. All right, so its only work is to take that message and output a yes or a no answer depending on the prompt that we're showing right here, which is basically output a yes or no based on this message, if this person is requesting human intervention or not. All right, if they are requesting human intervention, if this returns a yes value, then we're gonna call up our sub workflow that we just saw. We're gonna let our team members know that human attention is required, and we're gonna proceed and turn the conversation, the bot, we're gonna turn it off for this specific conversation so that the bot isn't any longer taking care of this conversation, because now a human will take over. But if the message is just part of the conversation that the bot agent is currently handling, then it's going to output a no, and no action is going to be taken. So the AI bot is going to continue taking care of this conversation. All right, so now that we've basically walk through the entirety of this workflow, I'm going to show you in a live demo exactly how this works and how this handles client intake seamlessly. All right, so before we can actually live test this demo, we need to make sure that our assistant can actually send the message back to Chatwoot, okay? So all we need to do is, let's go back to Chatwoot, and under your settings, okay, you're gonna select bots, where you actually created the bot earlier on the video. Then all you need to do is click on the edit button right here, and then you're going to copy that access token, all right? Just copy that here, and then go back to N8N, and all you need to do is, within the action that sends the message, right? Each message that we already split in parts, remember, you're gonna select the authentication as generic credential type, right here. then you're gonna select the header auth, okay, option, and then basically all you need to do is from the drop down, you're gonna click on create a new credential. Okay, let's rename it like a demo intake bot in this case, and the name right here, it must be this API access token. All right, it needs to be this name because that's what the API expects, and then the value is going to be the access token that we just copy, and we're gonna paste in here. Right, then finally all you need to do is click on save, and there you go. Okay, now we are actually ready to test this live demo. All right, so as you can see right here, I'm all ready to start a new conversation with my with my agency's phone number on WhatsApp, so we can test this agent out. All right, so in this case, since we're on testing phase, first I'm gonna click on execute workflow so that we can listen for this new message. All right, if we were on a production environment, all we need to do is click on publish, and now the workflow will be constantly listening for new messages. Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna click on execute workflow, and let's send this message right here. Okay, so if you focus here on the left, we're gonna see how that Chatwoot sends this message to the webhook. It detects it is a text message, and it goes down this path, and it enters the message queue. Right? Remember, this message queue, all it does is waiting for 30 seconds so that we can give a little bit of time to our leads or our clients, right? So that they can start typing their other messages that they may have. Okay, so that we can group all of those messages and then send multiple messages at once to the AI agent so that we can reply again to multiple messages at once. Okay, once those 30 seconds have passed, it's gonna go through the input guardrails. It's gonna detect that no unsafe content is detected. The AI agent will start making its response. The output guardrails validation is also going to pass. We're going to strip out any M dashes, split into part that long response from the AI agent, and then we're gonna go through each of them and send a message here back to our leads. Okay, so if you see here, the intake agent starts by introducing itself. It says, hey, my name is Jordan. I'm the intake assistant here at Pricing Flow Strategies. And then it starts addressing our question right here, right? So it says, I'll be happy to help you learn more about automation services. To get started, could I have your full name and the work email? So it knows that its main goal, right, is both to perform the intake process here, so capture this lead's data, and also to schedule a complimentary discovery call where all of their answers will be answered as well. All right, so basically let's provide what it's asking for. Let's give it our name, okay, and also an email right here. All right, so let's do something like this. Now remember, since we're on a testing phase right now, let's click on execute workflow once more. Okay, and let's see how this message comes in right here. And then finally, let's send this new message. All right, again, we're gonna receive that message from Chatwoot here through our webhook. And again, it's gonna detect it is a text message, and it's gonna go into the message queue once more. All right, so now that the queue is done processing, again, it's gonna go through the same path. Just for security purposes, the input guardrails are there. The AI agent starts processing its response, and we're gonna see exactly how it starts replying back to us. All right, you can see here on the right side, it starts thanking us. All right, and now remember that the dynamic delay also hits in. So depending on how long that message is, the agent is gonna take longer or shorter to send the next message. All right, just like a human would do if they were typing manually on a chat. All right, so first it is thanking us for providing that information, and also in this agent's instructions, it knows that once it has my name and my email, it also has to ask for my firm's, in this case, my business name, and also it asks for the bottleneck or the issue that I'm facing right now. Okay, so it knows to ask for those details separately. First, name and email, and then the business name and the bottleneck that I'm currently facing. All right, before it actually goes and creates that lead record in our CRM. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna say that my business is called Law Firm LLC, in this case my firm, and then let's say that the intake process, we're having issues, okay, with the intake process. Okay, basically this is the information that it's asking for. Again, remember to click on execute workflow just for this test purposes. So also let's zoom out a little bit because we already know how this is going to work, and let's send this new message right here. Okay, Now, again, same process. The webhook message comes in. It detects it as a text message. It goes into the message queue. All right, so let's see how it goes now again into the AI agent. And now that it has the information that it needs, it's gonna use its tools, okay? In this case, it's getting the client data. Since it doesn't have any client data right here, it is also going to add a new lead right here with our name, all right? It's also gonna use our email. It's also gonna use the source like we have right here. It is WhatsApp, okay, as we just saw. And also we have the bottleneck right here. Okay, so now that the lead is properly added into our CRM, let's see what the agent said, all right? So again, it says, thank you for sharing that information, all right? It remembers our name, of course. And then just to make sure we align our calendars, what time zone are you in, all right? So once it has added this lead into our CRM, it knows that the next step is to have this leads schedule a discovery call where we're gonna be able to answer any questions that they may have, all right? So for that reason, it's gonna ask us what time zone we are in, all right? So there are no mismatches when booking that call, all right? So in this case, I'm gonna ask him to schedule that call for next week on Monday at around 10 a.m. So if we go to our calendar, we can see that next Monday, the 29th at 10 a.m., we don't have anything booked right now, okay? So let's take a look at our workflow right here. And you can see exactly how it used the tool get client details just to make sure that that client did not exist before. And since it didn't get any details using our email that we provided, then it proceeded and it called the tool create lead record. And that's how it added that record into our CRM. Okay, again, all on its own. So now let's give the information that is asking us for. Okay, so now in this case, again, let's click on execute the workflow. All right, and then let's say I'm on Eastern time and I'd like to schedule a call or next week at 10 a.m. next week Monday, let's say at 10 a.m. all right, so let's send that message to our agent. If we zoom out a little bit, we'll see how we get that message once again. All right, and then it finally goes into the queue once more. All right, again, the queue is done processing. It's gonna go through the input and into our AI agent now, so he can start processing. And now it's gonna check our availability. And once he finds out what our availability is, as you just saw, it already checked our calendar. Okay, it's gonna get back to me with this message response. So it says, all right, you're in EST, perfect. That's the same as our team's time zone. Okay, perfect. So basically, again, we're adding that human touch to our agent right here. And so it says Monday next week, June 29th at 10 a.m. EST, it is actually available. Okay, perfect. So would you like me to confirm the slot for your 30-minute discovery call? So again, this is all the agent on its own. All right, so it's a very, very good customer service experience. So in this case, let's say, yes, I want to book a call on that date at 10 a.m. All right, so again, let's click on execute workflow. So we'll listen for this message just during the testing phase. All right, and then let's reply with this message right here. Okay, so let's see how our message is coming in right here. Perfect. Go through the text branch and into the queue once more. All right, so this could be a bit time consuming just because we're testing, but on normal situation, okay, normally clients will just wait 30 seconds for us to reply. And this is for the sake of this agent, all right? So it feels more human. If we were to reply to our leads 2 seconds after they have sent a message, that would be weird, okay? Especially if we reply a string of text just 2 seconds right after, right? All right, so it's getting its tool ready. Now it's gonna check for availability once more just to make sure, and now it's going to book that event. So if we go and check our calendar, see how we already have that 10 a.m. slot covered, and he already booked the 30-minute discovery call that you can see right here, and he used my email as the guest. Right, so perfect. Now let's see what it's saying. All right, so you go back to us, and now it's saying your 30-minute discovery call is confirmed for Monday, June 29th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll receive a calendar invite at, and my email right here. Okay, If you have any questions or need to reschedule, just let me know. I'm here to help. Looking forward to connecting with you. All right. So there you have it. So basically, we just automated a full intake process where this AI agent can greet your leads. It can reply to any inquiries that they may have. It can get them into your CRM. It can create the booking of the events all on its own, and you don't have to worry about any of that. All right. If you go and take a look at your CRM, you can see how the lead is already here. Okay, you can see how the company, in this case, we already are creating companies here, is already in here. And the lead, most importantly, is already linked back to this company right here. Okay, and we also have a meetings table, right? So we can see exactly how the meeting was also created. We have the date and time, we have the type of that meeting, we have the status, and we already have linked this meeting record back to our lead and back to the company as well, just in case. All right, so everything is done on its own. You don't need to worry about taking multiple actions when an event happens, or updating multiple tables or multiple tools once something happens. It already takes care of that on its own. All right, so if I check here on the email, we can see how we got the invite right here, and we have that 30-minute discovery call. So your leads are gonna get that confirmation automatically, right? And all on its own, as I said. Now, before we finish, let's also prove that the other inputs that the AI agent can work with are also available. Okay, so let's just shift here a little bit, and let's see how it also handles the audio in this case. Okay, and also let's see how it handles when your leads or your clients actually need to talk to a supervisor or a human, right? So in this case, I'm going to send a audio in this case. So I'm gonna execute the workflow first. All right, so that will listen, and then I'm gonna send this audio message. Thank you, Jordan. Now, could I please speak to a supervisor? Okay, let's send that audio message right there. And let's see exactly how we receive this message right here on the webhook. And now it is going to detect that it is an audio message precisely. It's gonna download that audio, it's gonna transcribe that recording, and it's gonna feed that transcription into our AI agent. All right, again, it's out of the queue. Now, the input guardrails validation also passes. The AI agent is processing this request. Okay, it's generating its response. And now let's see what the agent says right here. And most importantly, we're going to take a look at the last part of the workflow right here, which we mentioned before, but we hadn't tested so far. Okay, so remember that the last part of this workflow right here, what it does is going to classify that message, right? That queue of messages that we turn into one single message that we're passing onto the AI agent is going to grab that message, and it's going to decide whether a human is needed. All right. In this case, as you just saw, it detected that it indeed needs human attention. It went through the yes path right here, and now it triggered the sub workflow that I showed you before, which is going to actually send an email in this case to our team, all right, or to any of the agents that are supposed to take care of this. And it's going to turn the bot off for this specific conversation so that a human agent can take over. All right. So as you just saw here, apart from triggering that workflow, we can see exactly how the AI agent responds back to your leads so that they are not left unattended in the meantime. All right. So you can see how it says, of course, I understand. I will have a member of our team, of our management team, review this, chat, and reach out to you shortly. All right. If you have any specific questions or you would like them to address, please let me know so I can pass them along. All right, so a full customer service experience. So if I can check here on my email as well. All right, let me just refresh right here. All right, we can see exactly how we got this email that it says urgent, human attention needed in conversation. So your team can actually click in here. Again, this could be also a Slack notification or any channel or any tool that your team uses for internal communication. Now it says a customer has requested human intervention. It sends and it shares the message content, and pay attention how it says, thank you, Jordan. Now, could I please speak to a supervisor? So this is exactly what I just said on that voice message right there. Okay. It already provides more information, like what the conversation ID is, what the customer name is, so very important, and also what was the channel that they used to communicate. In this case, it was WhatsApp, right? And finally, we let our team know that the bot has been turned off for this conversation, and so that please take care of this ASAP, right? So everything just as it should be, all right? Now, I'm also gonna tell you how you can take over this conversation, or your team members can take over these conversations, right? So once they receive that email in this case, right, they see that a human attention is needed in a conversation. All they need to do is they go to Chatwoot, right? And if you can see here on all conversations, we have our WhatsApp conversation right here. Okay, they can see the name of the lead in this case, so they can quickly identify what's a conversation they need to take care of. Or also they can go through each specific channel, right? So you have a WhatsApp channel right here. So if you click on it, you'll see specifically WhatsApp conversations. In this case, that's the one that needs human attention for this lead. And so they can click on it and they can see exactly the full history of messages shared between the intake bot and your leads as well. All right, so now they can start typing in here and everything is as it should be for a full customer service experience. All right, so I can say, hi, I'm the supervisor in this case. And now your agents can start typing and can start replying back to your leads as well. All right, and if you see here, there's a difference, right? Here's the difference between the messages sent by the demo bot that you see right here, and now when a human agent takes over, you can see the difference and you can quickly identify who sent what and at what time as well. All right, and you can see here also on our website, on our WhatsApp window right here, you can see how also whenever a human takes over, now our lead is also gonna get that message right here. Okay, so there you have it. And finally, before I forget, if you wanted to also manually take over a conversation without waiting for the bot to turn itself off, all right, if you detect that a conversation needs human attention, all you will need to do is come into any conversation just like I did right here. You will need to click here on this contact icon, all right, and then here on the contact attributes, this status would be on. All you need to do is manually change it to off. All right, so this time, every time our leads send a new message, the bot will not reply, and now the humans can safely take over, right? So you have those two options. Okay, the bot can turn itself off whenever he understands that human attention is required, or you or your team members can also manually take over the bot. All right, and just so that we can prove that to you, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go through the beginning of this workflow, make sure that the bot is actually turned off, as you can see right here. And so if I try sending a new message right here and I say thank you, in this case, now I'm sorry, I forgot to execute this workflow. Thank you once more. Okay, we're gonna see how this message actually comes in again, but now it's gonna be caught in this if action right here. So as I told you before, this is a security measure that we have. So now that the contact attribute of the bot status equals off, this evaluation here is no longer true because now it is actually off. So the message will not go through because the bot for this conversation has been actually turned off. What we built today is in a chatbot. A chatbot answers questions. This is a front desk receptionist that never sleeps, never misses a message, works every channel at once, and turns a stranger late night message into a booked consultation. And all while your competitors' phones go to voicemail. And every piece of it runs on tools your firm owns. Your client's conversation, your contact details, their scheduling, none of it sits in some outside company's servers. And for a law firm, that isn't just a technical detail. It's a professional obligation. In our next build, we'll connect this assistant to a voice phone line, so it can answer actual phone calls, not just messages, and all with the same calm and the ability to book. If you'd like a setup like this running inside the tools your firm already uses, there's a link down below to book a consultation with us. So if you like this video, hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.